I'll just wait. I'll be waiting for a few more minutes, 2-3 minutes more, uh, so that some of you may join with us. Right now, I can see only two subscribers. I'll just be taking a few more minutes only, 2-3 minutes max, and accordingly we'll be starting the session. To all those viewers who are live with us, welcome to the session called Discourse. This is our first YouTube live. We have been doing Facebook Live till now. This is for the first time we are experimenting on YouTube as well, right? And at the same point of time, let me honestly admit that my voice is a bit sore, so the sound you may hear may seem to be a bit husky, right? The session today is on interstate river water dispute, right? I'm just taking a few minutes more. We are already past 2 minutes. I'll just take one more minute, and accordingly we'll start the session. Till now, I can see six members live, right? Okay, guys, enough. I'm not waiting anymore. Let's start with the session, right? The the topic we are going to talk about is interstate river water disputes in India. See, quite often than not, it is said the way I would like to conduct the session. Let me make it clear in the beginning. Uh, at first, I'll try to elaborate the topic in front of you, and then I'll be expecting questions from you. Okay. Now, see, quite often than not, it is said that if a third world war takes place, it will be on the issue of access to water. India, predominantly being an agrarian economy, has always been dependent on river water for irrigation and other necessary purposes. I here must correct myself. Today, we cannot call India an agrarian economy anymore, right? Why? Only 17% of India's GDP is contributed by agriculture sector. But still, nearly 60% of the workforce in the country is directly or indirectly associated with the agriculture sector. Okay, that's why I called India as to be a agricultural economy or an agrarian economy, right? Given this backdrop, one can easily understand the significance of water here in India. India, on the other hand, starting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, is crisscrossed by numerous rivers. Number of rivers are there, right? Rivers, rivulets, streams, God knows how many. Some of them perennial, some of them seasonal. Perennial means those which flow across the river. Seasonal, those which flow only in particular seasons. However, most of these rivers, they crosses the interstate boundaries and flow between two or more states, creating complexities in terms of water sharing between these states. Here, it is here only that I would try to enumerate the ongoing river water disputes in India. And for that purpose, I'm going to take help of the website of Ministry of Jal Shakti, right? The website of Ministry of Jal Shakti, it says that there are 5 ongoing river water disputes. Which are these? Mahadayi water dispute between Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Vansadhara water dispute between Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, Krishna water dispute between Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, Kaveri water dispute between Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Puducherry, and Ravi Vyas water dispute between Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Himachal Pradesh. However, these five are not the only ones. Along with these five, there are three more disputed projects, Ministry of Jal Shakti. What are these? Polavaram Dam Project, Babhali Barrage issue in Godavari River, and Mullaperiyar Dam issue. Right. These have been mentioned, these have been enumerated in the website of Ministry of Jal Shakti. But even outside these, there are a number of projects or issues which are causing constraint between number of states. Say, for example, Mahanadi water sharing issue between Odisha and Chhattisgarh, Palar river water dispute between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, Atapadi irrigation project between Tamil Nadu and Kerala, the Sutlej water sharing between Punjab and Haryana, and Tapi water sharing between Maharashtra and Gujarat. Right? Along with the water sharing of Upper Yamuna Basin. Right? So these are the ongoing disputes which are there. Now let us try to understand why so many river water disputes, or why so many disputes in respect to water sharing that's going on in India. Right? See, most of these projects, they have their own reasons behind, and quite often than not, those reasons, they become political in nature. You can easily understand the local politics that's quite often than not is driven by these particular issues. Clear? So yes, the river water sharing becomes a sentimental issue, and accordingly, we do see that these issues are taken up by the political parties, and they become political issues or election issues, and the issues keep on going on. Right. Common issues behind all these disputes. First and foremost, the population of India is increasing at a rampant rate. Today, I may not say it's growing at a rampant rate, but if I look at was really at a fast pace, starting from 23% to 24.8% to 24.7%. All these are decadal rate of growths. To 23% again, to 21% in between 1991 to 2001. That's how the rate of growth of population in India has been. And the way the population has increased, in a similar way, we had to increase our food grain production. Green Revolution and subsequently the effort that the government of India they initiated in terms of increasing food grain production for water became here that we saw the demand for water to rise, and all these states they tried to secure largest share of water for themselves. Right? That's how the issues started. Clear? Number two, not only this requirement for irrigation purposes, simultaneously, the government of India from 1970 onwards, they also initiated a policy of MSP, minimum support price. And the minimum support price system was heavily skewed towards food grains like paddy, wheat. You can easily food security to secure food for everyone, because the population was growing at a very fast pace. Na? So yes, the government of India, they went for such things, and accordingly we saw that they introduced the MSP system. Fine, the things wheat and paddy, or those kind of crops which require far more water. And what we saw that naturally, for agricultural purposes, the states started consuming more share of water than they used to previously consume. See, the source of water is fixed. The source of water is not increasing, but the consumption is increasing. So obviously, the dispute between the states is bound to come up, right? Simultaneously is the issue uh, of our federal polity, I must say. People call this conflictual federalism. Let's not call it conflictual federalism, but this federal political system that itself also started contributing to this dispute. How? River water dispute, or the issue of how it has been settled. First, the mentioning of water sharing is there in entry number 56 of the Union List of Schedule 7. That Union List says that if required, the Parliament can pass regulations in respect to water sharing, and that will be binding on all. Right? Next entry is there in entry number 17 of State List. Entry number 17 of State List says that if say the states, they can obviously ensure the water and related things subject to entry number 56. That means subject to any law made by the Parliament. Hi Shayari. So that's how the things are. That the states, they can also regulate and legislate in terms of water consumption, but subject to hello Roshan, subject to the about a river water dispute. There is a provision in 262 which says that the Parliament by law can establish interstate river water dispute tribunals, and these in Supreme Court or any other any other judicial body. Okay, that's 262. These are the constitutional provisions in respect to water sharing in India. But there is nothing concrete. Say if a dispute goes on, how to ultimately solve the dispute? What about the verdict of the interstate river water dispute? Nothing is said about that. And as a result, number of issues as such kept on going. Right? The tribunal was set up in 1990. The verdict of the tribunal came in 2007, but still none of the states accepted the verdict of the tribunal. Why? Because there is nothing concrete saying whether the verdict of the tribunal is going to be binding. And not only that, somehow I must admit that the attitude of the central government has also not been very conducive. We do not have something which is coordinating. The central government has not been acting as a coordinating agency here. Right? Whenever a request comes, whenever a problem happens, the central government just creates a tribunal, and that tribunal is also created quite often than not at a very delayed pace. Say, for example, the Kaveri only. I told you that in 1970s the Kaveri river water dispute came up, and the tribunal was formed only in 1990. Just imagine after 20 years nearly. Clear? So that's how the things have been going. Clear? So that's how the things have been going on. Clear? Now, these are the reasons for which this issue is still going on. As for the constitutional provisions, I told you, I mentioned about the three provisions: entry number 56 of the Union List of Schedule 7, entry number 17 of the State List of Schedule 7, and Article 262 of the Constitution of India. Now, it is on the basis of this that in 1956, the Interstate River Water Disputes Act that was framed, that act came into force subsequently. Based on that act, separate tribunals are set up to deal with the individual cases, right? And the bindings are the verdicts of these tribunals are not at all binding. That's a major issue here. That's a major problem here. The recent amendment in the Interstate River Water Disputes Act, the recent amendment, the bill that has been introduced in 2019, I'm talking about that bill, right? What is there in that bill? For the by government, I mean the central government. Okay, the government is trying to set. Okay, the government is trying to set up and judges driven. The judicial members, they used to drive these interstate river water dispute tribunals. There were hardly any expert members in used to come. For the first time, we see that in this amendment bill, a provision dispute resolution committee. What would be the job of this dispute resolution committee? Say a request comes from one or more states about one particular dispute. Committee. Firstly, there would be one member from all the respective states, right? Now, this dispute resolution committee, they would be listening to the arguments. Definitely, they would come out with an idea to resolve the dispute. Say, for example, now this dispute resolution committee would be months, not more than that. Clear? That the interstate river water dispute tribunals, they used to carry on year after year. Just let's talk about the Kaveri one. It took 17 years from 1990 to 2007. Here we are looking at a time-bound resolution mechanism. Now, say this dispute resolution committee could not resolve the problem. Then what? The bill says that the central government would form one single interstate river water dispute tribunal. Right? Interstate river water dispute tribunal would be formed, right? Some 3 domain level experts, right? Simultaneously 3 judicial members and members level expert, can be extended by 1 more year. So 3 years time in all. Again, a time-bound resolution. And whatever the verdict of this interstate river water dispute tribunal would be on any particular issue, that verdict would be binding on the states. The states, they have to adhere to this verdict. That's how the things are. To this verdict. That's how the things are. Clear? This is the idea. That's how this amendment is being done. Given the idea, I think we would be seeing something concrete in the coming days, right? That's all about this topic. Now, if you have any question on this topic, you can easily ask. We are expecting questions from this particular topic, especially in this year's mains. That's why we raised this topic for discussion here. Given the bill, the amendment bill that came up and the discussions that are going on, that's why we took up this issue for discussion here, right? So if you have any question, you can easily ask those questions to me. But till you ask me those questions, let me make a request to you all. Please think of subscribing the magazine. I would take the opportunity wherever I can. I would be, obviously, I'd be urging you. Please think of subscribing. Those who have not subscribed the magazine, please think of subscribing our magazine, right? We have changed the format of the magazine a bit. We are also giving you probable questions, and simultaneously we have made 2 particular things compulsory with the magazine, 2 supplementary materials. One is on environment and the other is on culture. The way we are preparing these materials, we are quite sure that questions, whether in mains or in prelims, if someone has a 12 months coverage, we are sure that questions both from prelims and from mains, whether in culture or in environment, would hit from these materials. That's how we are preparing the supplementary materials. So so practically one can expect 3 things while subscribing the magazine. You'll be having the articles. Obviously, the articles are also available on the website. So what you have additional is the probable questions from these articles, from these issues, and simultaneously the supplementary materials, which are not normally is freely available, right? Genuinely, if you think, please think of subscribing. If you want to think of subscribing the magazine, right? By the time I was expecting some questions, but I don't have any question from you people. So I wish we don't have any query on this topic. In the topic, what we covered is, I at first went for listing the issues, the disputes which are going on. I listed those issues. Then I went for the reasons behind these issues. Then I went for the constitutional mechanism, and then I went for the amendment, the recent amendment which is being proposed. Right? That's the structure of the discussion that we did. I hope you have gained something at least from this discussion. Uh, I also do announce that every week, uh, on Wednesday, on every Wednesday from 6 p.m. onwards, we would try to organize this YouTube live for you. So this is going to be a regular feature. The name of this program is going to be Discourse. The program that we do on Facebook, the Facebook Live that we do on every Sunday from 6 p.m., the name of that is Overview, right? Here it is Discourse. Here I would like to with you people more and more. Facebook hardly gives us that opportunity. It's not that fast. So here I would genuinely like to engage with you people. In the Facebook discussion, what we will be doing, will be giving the overviews of the structure. That's why we have named it Overview, overviews of the issues. Here, along with the overview of the issue, we would also like to engage with you. That's why we have named it a Discourse, right? So from next week, I would genuinely be expecting questions from you, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you all.